Hustle is directed by Jeremiah Zagar and stars Adam Sandler, Queen Latifah, and Juanco Hernan Gomez. A washed-up basketball scout discovers a phenomenal street ball player and sees the opportunity for both of them to make it in the NBA. It's so easy to get wrapped up in all of the awful movies that Adam Sandler has made over the years, like the Grown Ups movies and Jack and Jill, that it's easy to forget that he is actually an extreme talent. Not only is he a fantastic singer and songwriter, but every 10 years he does legitimately make a great movie. In the 90s, we had Happy Gilmore, which in my opinion is one of my favorite comedies of all time. Hotel Transylvania in the 2010s is one of the most surprising animated movies ever made. And Uncut Gems from 2019 still stands to this day as one of the best movies of that year. And just so we're clear, I consider 2019 to be a golden age of cinema for our modern day. So seeing that this was pretty much a spiritual successor to Uncut Gems, I was pretty excited for it, but at the same time, I was very hesitant about it because unlike Uncut Gems, Hustle was made by Happy Madison, Adam Sandler's production company, which has made the bad movies that he is very well known for and very mocked for in today's society. But thank God, because this movie was actually great. The best part about this movie easily is the cast, the actors, their acting talent, and just their overall chemistry. While I don't think anyone gives the best performance of their career thus far, I do think everyone in the film gave a legitimately really freaking good performance. Sandler is really dramatic, funny, and just overall charming as this washed-up basketball scout who really wants to make it in the NBA as a coach, but is constantly told no by this just wrong 76ers owner. Not the real one. Juanco Hernan Gomez, and I'm so sorry if I butchered your name, I probably did, actually did a fantastic job in this performance. I'm pretty sure he is just an NBA player for the most part, but this appears to be his first big role, and for your first big role, he did a fantastic job. I found him really likable, really empathetic, and I really found myself rooting for the guy, both him and Sandler's character. And then there's the rest of the supporting cast, like Queen Latifah, who plays Adam Sandler's wife in this movie. It's not fair that two actors as likable as Queen Latifah and Adam Sandler play husband and wife and act incredibly off of each other. I found both of them so charming, so likable, so funny, and the same can be said of every single actor in this film. Whether they're a main character or supporting character, every single actor brings as much A-game as they could possibly give to this, and every single one of them has amazing chemistry with each other, whether they're an actor or someone who is cameoing, who is actually in the NBA profession. And with that said, this movie has a love and passion of two things that are both ecstatic and really get across to the audience how much the filmmakers love these two things. One of those things is basketball. The way that the basketball games are shot in this not only allow for a lot of wide takes so that you can fully see the action going on, but when we're up close, personal with the basketball players as the game is going on, you feel the intensity that a basketball player, a professional, must feel whenever he's on that field. Or court. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's court. I'm not a sports guy. And the other thing that this movie loves is Philadelphia. Being someone from PA myself, I fell in love with just how much this movie loves to just pay homage to the big landmarks of Philadelphia and even the more personal restaurants and small businesses in the area that even I know of, and I got so excited. So if I give this movie a higher grade than most, it's because I have a personal bias, because every single time they cut to a shot of Philadelphia and someone just walking past, I was just like, I know that place. I was there. But that doesn't mean that the direction itself isn't fantastic too. Like I said before, the film beautifully captures the intensity of an NBA professional basketball game as it's going on. And even with that out of the way, whenever this movie wants to focus on more dramatic scenes, just the cinematography and some of these shots alone and some of these 10-second clips are just beautiful and either really get your anxiety going or just from an OCD standpoint really make you feel at calm. Not to mention the fact that the soundtrack is great and the cameos. The cameos in a Happy Madison movie tend to stop the story where it is so that the audience can just look at awe at the fact that, oh, I know that guy, and he's playing himself. Oh, that's awesome. The cameos in this movie don't really work that way. They never halt the story. It always feels like they're important to the story, and it makes it feel more grounded in reality. When you see the 76ers head coach in the film, the movie doesn't just stop and say, oh, you're the 76ers head coach. He's part of the story. He is a character, and the film acts like he's a character instead of a cameo. But with that said, is the movie fantastic? I wouldn't go that far. The film definitely has issues. For one, the first and final third of this movie I felt was really rushed. The middle portion I felt was really paced out very well, even for all of the montages in the film. It's just the first third and the last third, I don't know, it felt like the movie was going on fast forward and we were supposed to care about every single one of the characters, even though the movie felt rushed, and because of that, we didn't get a lot of time to really care about the characters who had these big events happen to them. The characters themselves are also not the most three-dimensional. I will admit that the two leads, Sandler and Hernan Gomez, actually do have a bit of development. It's just the rest of the characters that, I don't know, they feel a bit too two-dimensional, and any charm that they have is mainly from the actors. Queen Latifah's character isn't really the best developed and is pretty much just the supportive wife. Sandler has a daughter in the movie that I guess wants to go in the film business, and I guess has a bit of tension with him, but it's never really fully explored. Hell, most of the characters from the first third pretty much just disappear throughout most of the movie, and in the final 10 minutes, suddenly they'll show up like they were an important character. But the biggest problem with this movie is just how cliched it is. You've seen this story time and time again. The washed-up sports player who's too old to play, who must coach and inspire some underdog street players to rise above themselves and go into the big leagues. You've seen movies like this before. Hell, I'm pretty sure in early 2020, when the movie theaters was still open back then, I'm pretty sure Ben Affleck came out with a movie called The Way Back that pretty much was almost exactly this story, just told from a high schooler's perspective instead of the NBA of all things. But because of how cliched it is, you know exactly where the movie's going, you know exactly what beats it's going to hit, and you know every single scene that's going to be in this movie. But with that said, it doesn't make the movie terrible necessarily, it just doesn't make it the groundbreaker that I personally feel Uncut Gems was. With that said, Hustle is still a really charming, fun movie that I do feel rises above its many problems. The acting is great, the cast have fantastic chemistry with each other, the direction is inventive, the soundtrack is good, and the film provides some of the best basketball sequences ever put to film. The characters aren't the best developed, the pacing can feel a bit rushed, and the story is very cliched, but the film has so many great performances, so much great direction, and has such a pure love for basketball that it's hard not to get wrapped up in it. Both Adam Sandler and Happy Madison as a production company has made a big comeback over the past couple years, and all I can say is, keep it up. I'm going to give Hustle an A. Well guys, thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite Adam Sandler movie? For me, even though I do consider Happy Gilmore to be one of my all-time favorite comedies, like I said earlier on multiple times in this review, Uncut Gems is one of the most tense, suspenseful, and engaging movies I've ever seen in a movie theater. It was incredible. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the best. And don't forget to click subscribe and click the bell icon down below to stay up to date on all things movie, all things TV, all things nerd.